Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Working with Objects, and this will be part 1. So, in case you're following the saga of we're in good shape versus all of that kind of stuff, I really like that ice is our cupcake, so you're probably going to hear a lot more of those kind of food metaphors. Um, and yeah, there was a comment on a recent video where someone said that they were unable to see the code in some previous videos, which is actually why we're doing it here in Replit as opposed to in the console. There is probably a way to make the console bigger, but I really didn't like the way it ended up looking, so that's why we're over here in Replit. But it's also just a good thing to get used to for the interview itself. So an object is a collection of properties, and a property is an association between a key and a value. In the event that the value is a function, we call that function a method. So we've seen some methods before, and that's what we're describing. So if we want to create an object, we're going to create a variable and assign it to a set of curly braces with a series of properties separated by commas. So here's two versions, one where we actually have some properties, one where we don't. Looking good. And let's talk about one thing with relation to the keys. Now the keys can be not strings here or strings, and it doesn't really make any difference. In fact, you'll see when we output this, the what would you call it? The console doesn't really distinguish between those. However, if we were to add spaces in between here on line 8, that's going to be the reason that you would predominantly need to use quotations around your keys. It would be in the event that the key itself has spaces or something else that would cause something to break. Let's say we name exclamation point, and you'll see that that's going to throw an error. However, if we were to wrap that inside of quotes, it gives us the ability to have all kinds of symbols that would ordinarily be operators or we would run into problems with. And in the event of that, it does wrap quotes around it. So, just something to keep in mind. Nothing too earth-shattering for this first part, but that said, we're going to complete a function that takes no parameters and returns a newly created object. Your function should create a variable, assign it to a new object, and then return that variable. Below is an example of the code that I already wrote because this is the second time I'm writing this function, so we'll reset the input. I suppose it's a solution video, so it doesn't really matter if you saw the answer. Besides, this one's pretty simple. So let's grab our test case, and let's grab our function. And we're going to do something kind of odd. We're going to put the function below, and we're not really going to comment on why this works, but we are going to say that this does work. There are other ways to write functions where this wouldn't work, but this will. So just keep that in mind. If you write a function like this, anywhere inside of what we're going to call the scope, which is essentially just all the lines in index.js, we can use that function. Later on, we'll describe a little bit more about what exactly is going on here, but for now, let's just keep in mind that, oh, hey, you can do this. So let's create a result variable, set it equal to an object, and then let's return that result variable. Missing after argument list. That makes me think that I didn't highlight enough of this because that's not what that should look like. So let's just go back and make sure. Yep, that's what happened. Okay, good. So if we put another parentheses, you can see how it's helping us out. So without a parentheses there, we don't have the console.log fully wrapped. With it, we do. So again, eval machine anonymous line 3. So if we come to line 3, this is actually a very robust output for tests. So usually just read the error, go to the line, and see if there's something wrong. Worst comes to worst, delete the line and rewrite it. Run this, we should see object and false. We do. Looking good. Let's bring it back to the input window, run our tests, and that shucks our oysters. So, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hit the wrong one. Ah, there we go.